I'm going to eat out today. And I get this question asked very commonly. Do you not go out for dinners? Well, hell I do. Do you not eat when you go outside? Do you pack yourself something when you go out? Well, hell no. Then what do you eat? Well, let me tell you what a foodie nutritionist eats when she goes out. I want to begin this video with this very clear idea that if you want to eat healthy and if you're trying to be healthier, then it is not necessary that you never go out, you never have fun with your friends, you never eat out with your family. It is just not possible also. So, without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into the options that you can have when you go outside. And no, it's not only about soups and salads. So, if you want to know the exact practical tips which you can use while ordering your food outside, then keep on watching till the end. Since I am in India, let's just first pick up our most favorite Indian food. Yes, it is a common opinion that our Indian food is too rich in carbohydrates and too rich in fat, and that is the reason. And that is the reason why it is not at all healthy. But it is not true. Let's just use this area of my screen to give you an idea about what you can have and what you should avoid. Let's start from the kind of breads that we have. We have a lot of variety of naan, butter naan, tandoori roti with butter, misi roti with butter, and a hell lot of butter. The only small switch that you have to do is that you can order tawa roti rather than tandoori roti, or even if you are doing a tandoori roti, you can have it without the butter also. Another good option for our breads is the rumali roti. It is quite light, made up of, yes, refined flour, but refined flour and whole wheat flour has the only one difference that refined flour doesn't have as much fiber. And that fiber you can compensate for when you have vegetables. Next, let's talk about our rice. Rice can be made in a gazillion of varieties, but the usual ones are either biryani or pulao. Now the problem is not the biryani. You can by all means make biryani at your home and then enjoy it with your friends and family. However, when you eat biryani outside, to make it tastier, there is a lot of fat which is added to that. And to avoid that, you can just order steamed rice when you go outside and then accompany it with the kind of dal that you want. In fact, steamed rice goes with any kind of food, whether it is Chinese, which we are also going to talk about in a few minutes. It can be accompanied with a dal, it can be accompanied with a chicken curry, it can be accompanied with sambar if you're a South Indian, and so much more. Next, let's pick up our dals. The issue with the dal when we eat out is that there's a lot of oil poured over the top of it for even the garnish and for the taste as well. So, rather than having a dal tadka or a dal fry, you can just have a normal dal without that extra butter on the top. It is going to give you the taste, but without that unnecessary extra calories, which we do not even know what quality of fat is being used in that. Usually, it is going to be the reheated oil, which is left out from the fried components, and after the frying, fat actually oxidizes, which turns really unhealthy. It can be carcinogenic, which is a really heavy word. That means cancer causing, and we do not want to go into that ugly stuff when we want to have a gala time with our family, right? So avoid that fat on the top. Next, let's talk about the favorite protein of all times, chicken or paneer. Both are a good source of protein. Both are a good source of animal protein, that is class A protein, which means their absorption is really fast. But the problem is that when we eat out, again, there's a lot of oil coating which goes on the top, even if you're having the tandoori variety. So what you can do is that you can avoid the process of basting, which is, bathing the whole thing into the butter. You can tell the person to avoid that and you can have that. Next, let's talk about our accompaniments. The major one being raita. Now, what we can do to make that healthier? Rather than ordering a bundi raita, order a vegetable raita, which is also going to give you a lot of fiber and is going to be deprived of that extra fried component, which is the bundi. And the good part, Since curd will actually leave a lot of water if it is added with salt a lot of time prior to your meal, that is why the raitas are made freshly. And that is why you have the power to avoid that extra salt on the top, which you can tell the person who is serving you to avoid it. Another accompaniment is papad. The West call it nachos, we call it papad. Now, note this one thing. The papad is going to be just as crunchy, just as yummy, whether it is fried or it is roasted. So, you can have the roasted papad instead of fried papad. And that way, you avoid a lot of that extra fat which is going to be there without having to compromise on that crunchiness, that yumminess of the papad. A major extension of our Indian food is the South Indian variety of the food, which in my opinion is really tasty and really yummy and really healthy as well. Why? Because major of the food products used in South Indian food preparations are fermented. Fermented means they are not only pre-digested, so they are easy to digest, but also they are a good source of probiotics, which is the healthy bacteria. However, there are a few food items in the South Indian food also which may be replaced with something healthier. For example, vada can be replaced with idli. Well, if you like vada a little too much, that's a separate case. But otherwise, there is not much difference in the taste when it is clubbed with sambar. Rather than puri bhaji, it can be an uttapam. Rather than a masala dosa, it can be an appam. And rather than shira, they can be upma. The specific terms to be aware of when ordering Indian food is malai, kurkura, sunehera, shahi, because these are the components which are going to be either fried or really dripping with oil. Next, let's come to the Chinese food. Well, what we have is not Chinese actually, because we have done a lot of Indian tadka in that. But despite that, let's talk about the Chinese food. The major issue with Chinese food is that there is a lot of salted vinegar and there's a lot of salted soy sauce. On top of it, there is monosodium glutamate for that umami taste, which is the classic signature of Chinese food. The problem with that is that this whole meal is going to be too heavy in sodium, and that can actually cause a lot of bloating, water retention. Apart from that, monosodium glutamate has been found to be really hazardous for people who have hormonal disbalances like PCOD or hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. So the people who have these issues should primarily avoid Chinese food. Otherwise, even if you want to have, then you should go for the preparations which would have the least minimum of these things. However, that's highly unlikely, to be honest. However, talking about only the calorie aspect, let's talk about what you can have and what you should not have. So, as I said, steamed rice is always the safest bet and it goes with practically anything. So, you can order a steamed rice. Along with that, there can be a vegetable curry which will have a lot of vegetables, of course. And if you are a vegetarian, then you can have paneer on tofu with that without the frying process that you can ask for. And if you are a non-vegetarian, then you can ask for chicken without the frying component. Wontons or momos are not as unhealthy as we think that they are. Why? Because wonton will definitely have a coating of refined flour, but it will be stuffed with a lot of vegetables also, which will kind of compensate for that fiber. But the problem comes when we have a lot of mayo based dressing along with that. So you can avoid that and have some other sauce along with that rather than something mayo based. And how can we talk about Chinese food and not talk about noodles? Now again, going back to the basics, as I said, noodles will be majorly made of refined flour, but you can ask for an extra serving of vegetables along the side of that or in that, so that you can actually compensate for the kind of fiber that is lost when you're using the refined flour for the noodles. I hope you get it. Yeah. Moving on to another favorite genre of us in the terms of food when we eat out. That is Italian food. Now, the authentic Italian food we have also butchered in a way by adding a lot of spices which we like. But anyway, doesn't matter. The best thing that I like about Italian is that there are a lot of options available in terms of vegetables. Let's talk about a few food swaps in Italian food. A normal, innocent looking pasta can actually be a hub of sodium. Now what we need to understand is that pasta cannot be refined flour because it is made of triticum durum wheat, which is a variety of wheat that is hard wheat. But despite that, the pasta is not going to give you enough fiber which a meal should have. So it is utmost important that you get your vegetables added into the pasta or ask for a separate serving of that. Apart from that, the issue with the pasta is the pre-made or pre-packaged tomato sauce or the cheese which is grated on the top, which can be easily avoided. But of course, the essence of pasta is in the tomatoes, right? Yeah. Then the solution for that is that you get a lot of fresh tomatoes added into the pasta for that sauciness and that creaminess without the extra sodium of that pre-made tomato puree. Talking about pizza, I am very sure that there was a mother who was really pissed off by her kids cribbing about the food, and that is the reason why she threw on a flatbread, put on some sauce on that, put on a lot of vegetables on that, baked it and made pizza. But what we did with that, we flooded it with a lot of sodium loaded sauces, a lot of sodium loaded cheese, and we made it really unhealthy and exactly not like that mother wanted. So it's time that we actually take out those ingredients and take it just like that mother wanted us to have, in the form where pizza is indeed a really healthy meal to have, because it has carbohydrate from the base and a lot of fiber from the vegetables added on the top. In fact, healthy fats also, if there is a good quality, no sodium cheese added on the top, which never happens in a restaurant, so you can avoid. Hey, there is no taste in pizza without cheese. Well, okay. But what you can do is, you can have just a normal pizza rather than asking for an extra cheese one. Now, there are a few bonus tips that I want to give you here. First is that you can shamelessly ask for the kind of customizations that you want to do in your meals when you order out. Second, when you eat out, ask yourself what is more important, the company or the food. If it is the company which is important, then definitely you'll be able to make these changes. If it's the food which is important, then again ask yourself whether your health is more important or just the taste of the food which is important. Either way, whatever swaps that I suggested, they're going to be just as tasty. Because I am a Punjabi. I cannot live without taste. So if I'm suggesting you something, trust me, it's going to be tasty. And next, have you seen how much proud we feel when we are bragging about our bad habits? I slept at 4 a.m., woke up at 8 and I was fresh all day. I have one bottle of alcohol and I don't even budge. But when it comes to healthy habits and taking stand for our health, we actually get very shy. Oh my god, Manisha, how do I say that I do not want to eat out? Oh my god, Manisha, how do I say that I do not want to eat that much? Oh my god, everybody was ordering that, I had to eat that. No, it doesn't sound nice when we customize our order. The nation wants to know why it is so shameful to take care of your own body. And on that note, I am going to head out for my dinner. Now, if you want an extension of this video where I cover the types of desserts, then let me know in the comments below so that I can do that video for you guys. And I will see you next week. Till that time, remember, I love you unconditionally and you have to be a fit foodie. Bye.